So you're laying down. Your knees are tented. Your feet are flat on the floor. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Matthew. Hi, Mom. Take this moment to come into your breath. You're in this nice little supported bridge, or you're just letting your knees be tented, feet flat on the floor, laying on your back, coming into your breath and your body, taking a couple moments to notice where you're holding tension. What feels tight, what feels tense. And in these first few moments, you're breathing in through your nose and out through the nose. Yeah, I'm definitely channeling Nana right now. I just remembered that. It was very intense. If you'd like to take one hand to your stomach and one to your heart, you absolutely can, to even further that heart, mind, and body connection. In the background, you might hear some kind of celestial tones. Hopefully Facebook doesn't, but you might. Today I'm listening to Ascendant. I really enjoy them. Taking just a few more minutes, a few more moments. How deeply can you fall into these first few moments through your breath and your body? How deeply can you fall into the simple pleasure of following your breath, noticing your inhales, noticing your exhales? Good morning, Emily. What up, Lucas? So for those of you who just tuned in, we're starting out on our backs. Your knees are tented, your feet are flat on the floor. If you'd like to grab a prop, a block, or a pillow, slide that under the small of your back to create a little bit of a lift in the low back, to bring some beautiful space and traction in between those lumbar vertebrae. Together, take a breath in and a long sigh out the mouth. Let's rinse off yesterday. Good morning, Sydney. I saw that heart. Yesterday was tough. Today's a new day. Indulge in those simple pleasures. Fall into those moments. So together we're all laying on our backs right now. You can go ahead and heel toe your feet out to the outer edge of your mat and let your knees knock together in the middle. If you're on a prop or a block, you can slowly lift your pelvis up off of it and remove that prop. Just to energize for a moment here, we're going to inhale, bring the knees into the chest, roll up in a nice little ball, roll back and forth. And from this little ball, I'd like you to extend your feet right up to the ceiling. Just extend those legs up. You can hold behind the knees, down by the thighs, wherever is comfortable, just to help support that right now, especially if your mobility is a little bit more limited and you're down here a little bit. Wherever your legs are in this space, because it is the first couple moments of movement for today, you might be much more tighter than you will be at the end of class. We'll do this at the end of class too to bring the energy back. This is one thing that you can do throughout your days whenever you feel like you need a little energy boost. What this does is it drains all the energy right back to your core. Okay? If you'd like to rotate, make some circles with your feet, pointing and flexing the ankles, getting into the front of the ankle joint, which is one place that you don't really think about very often. Rotating through, making circles. Maybe one at a time, pointing and flexing. Slowly rebend those knees back into the chest. Take the hands to the top of the knees, roll around, make some little circles about it. Let's come right into some pigeons while we're laying here, yeah? We'll get into the hips. Lower the left foot to the mat, cross the right ankle over the left knee. Keep that foot nice and flexed, like you're putting a footprint against a wall. From here, if you'd like to ever so gently take your right hand and push your right knee out toward the front of the mat, just to feel the sensations that can liven up in the outer right hip. On an inhale, you can lift the entire formation up, so lift the left foot off the mat, grab underneath the left knee, so you reach through that figure 4 that you just created, and grab behind the thigh. And you can reach down closer to the glute, and that'll give you more sensation. If you'd like more here, you can always straighten the left leg to the sky, making sure that both feet are still flexed. Relax the shoulders into the mat. You can roll back and forth, side to side here to get a little bit of movement in, or if stillness is enough, then breathe. How deeply can you fall into this hip opener? Enjoy the simple pleasure of being able to feel the different sensations within your body. You tuned in, you've chosen. I'm so happy that you did. Maybe smile about it. If you're rolling back and forth, go ahead and come back to stillness. If you have extended the left leg, rebend the left knee. Go ahead and release the thigh. Take the hands out off the sides of your mat with the palm facing down. So you're in a big capital T. And then you're going to lower this entire formation right over to the left. The right foot might hit the ground, it might not. If you'd like to take your left hand and push the right knee out to continue to get sensation in that outer right hip, you totally can. Keep that left foot flexed. If you'd like to look out over your right shoulder, you absolutely can. Breathe. Where are you feeling this in your body right now? Is it in your outer right hip? Is it traveling up into your low back? Since we're in this nice twist, you're bringing out your organs as well as your muscles. Super detoxifying. Slowly, if you're pressing that right knee forward, release that. On an inhale, use your core to bring this entire formation back up through center, lower the left foot to the ground, and then unhook the right ankle from the left. So we're going to come into this on the other side, this reclined pigeon, right? So on an inhale, bring the left ankle up and cross it over the right knee. Stay nice and flexed through that left ankle. And then on an inhale, lift the whole formation up. Go ahead and reach through, grab the right thigh under the knee. The closer you get to your glute, the more intense this will be. So you have nice flexion in both ankles. If you need more, you can always extend the right leg toward the ceiling. And you can go ahead and rock from side to side if that's what you need right now. Otherwise, you can pause in the stillness and fall deeply into this right side, or this left side, excuse me, this left side of your body that's being stretched out, this left hip. Relax those shoulders into the mat. Soften the space between the eyes. And breathe. When you're ready to come out of this, come back to stillness. If you're rocking back and forth, re-bend the right knee. Release the right thigh. Take the arms in that capital T position off the sides of the mat with the palm facing down, and then lower the entire formation over to the right. Ooh, this is much different than the other side for me. You might notice that this is maybe a little bit more easy or more difficult. For me, this is a lot tighter in my low back. This twist is very different on the left than on the right for me because we are not symmetrical, right? So one side is always a little bit different than the other. You can look out over your left shoulder if that's comfortable for your neck to complete that twist. Taking the right hand, pushing the left knee forward to get more sensation in the outer left hip. Breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. Really sending every nourishing inhale right to that outer left hip, up into your low back. Taking note of this side and where you're feeling it differently. Or maybe it's the exact same. Breathe into whatever sensations you're feeling right now. Remain present with it. If the mind floats away, bring it back to breath, bodily sensations, or even the sounds around you. Slowly release that left knee if you're pushing it forward. On an inhale, use that core to bring this entire formation back up. And then you can lower the right foot to the mat, undo the left ankle, uncross the right ankle, the left ankle from the right knee. Sorry. All right. On an inhale, bring those knees into the chest. Roll around one final time, massaging the sacrum and low back. And then go ahead and rock back and forth. And then come on up to seated. Good morning. Justin Pellini, my friend, how are you? I hope you're still watching. All right, so now we're up in seated position. We'll do a couple of twists here. If you need a prop underneath your sit bones to kind of get your hips higher than your knees, I usually use a meditation cushion. It's just nice so that you don't have to strain to sit up straight, yeah? On an inhale, let's bring both arms up to frame the head. We're going to twist to the right on the exhale. So exhale, go ahead and twist. Bring the left hand to the outer right knee and the right fingertips come behind you. If you're sitting up on a prop, you might not be able to get them to reach the ground. Mine definitely don't because I'm very short. With every inhale, you get a little taller to create that space. Exhale, soften the tops of the shoulders. One more deep inhale, get tall through the crown, and then exhale, come back through center. Inhale, the arms up to frame the head, and then exhale, twist to the left. Breathe through this twist. Another deep, deep detoxifying ringing of the organs and your muscles. Inhale, tall to the crown of the head, and then exhale to release and come back through center. Beautiful. Wherever you are seated, go ahead and reach your hands out in front of you and just crawl them forward a little bit, coming into a kind of seated forward fold. You can be up on your fingertips, or you can seal your entire hand to the mat. Slowly on an inhale, walk the hands back in toward the pelvis. If you're sitting on a prop, you can remove that now. Go ahead and swing your knees right around, come right up into tabletop. We'll warm up the spine a little bit more. Those twists definitely get it moving, but a little bit more movement never hurt anybody, right? So, your wrists are stacked under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, the tops of the feet are pressed into the mat, nice and active through the backs of the legs, yes? All right, on an inhale, you lift the heart, you tilt the tailbone. Exhale, push the mat away from you, round through the spine. Tuck the chin into the chest. Inhale, lift up, tilt up. Exhale, push and round through the spine. Continue this to your own breath, flowing through. Really feeling the space. As you push the mat away from you, the space really becomes apparent in between the rib, each rib, your intercostals. Breathing through, maybe this organically comes into C curves where you look over toward your left toes, back through center, and then over to your right. Maybe even lowering the hips down a little bit, coming into circles. Just moving mindfully and just letting this come as naturally as you'd like. Just getting into your body a little bit more. Feel your heart beating. Getting that blood pumping and moving into the rest of your body. Connecting your body to your mind through the breath. All right, wherever you are, come back to neutral and stillness. Go ahead and tuck those toes, lift the hips, send it on back for your first down dog. Just pedaling out the feet, really enjoying this moment, falling deeply into the sensations that the body is producing in your first down dog of the day. Maybe lowering both knees, hovering the shins, and then inhale, lifting the hips back up. Beautiful. On an inhale, lift up to both tippy toes, look in between the hands, and glide forward to upper push-up position. If you need to readjust your hands and feet at this time, you absolutely may do so. You're really stacking those ankles right over those toes. And then on your exhale, send the hips back. On an inhale, come up to both tippy toes, look in between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. You inhale up for that halfway lift, and then exhale to release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, grab the left wrist with the right hand, and exhale over to the right. Inhale back up through center, switch the grip, and then exhale over to the left. Inhale, back up. Do it again. To the right. Inhale, back up. To the left. Inhale, back up through center. Maybe look up at your hands, little mini back bend, and then bring your hands down through heart center and forward fold over your legs. Inhale up for that halfway lift, and then exhale to release. Plant your hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Hold this here, really engaging through the core. And when you're ready, bend the elbows in toward the side bodies, lower down to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Your hands can stay here, or they can come off the mat. You can tent them. It's called striking cobra, I learned, which is a really cool name. You inhale up very, very gently for that little baby cobra. Exhale to release. This time, to really get into the core here, instead of using the chest to lift, you want to use the core to lift. So really press the tops of the feet into the mat. Focus on the core as you inhale to rise. And then exhale, release. If your hands are off the mat, bring them back in. Tuck the toes, push up through hands and knees or through plank. Take the knees wide, big toes to touch. Send the hips back over the ankles and come down into child's pose. Surrender the forehead to the mat. If you'd like a block or a prop for your forehead, that can help the neck to relax a little bit here. Good morning, Yumi. We're going to do a couple of thread the needles here to get into the shoulders. We did a lot of hips in the very beginning of class. Now we're going to get into the shoulders, right? So, your hands and arms are extended out. The palms are sealed to the mat, or you are up on your fingertips again as if there's a tennis ball underneath them. And your forehead is surrendered to the mat. In this child's pose is a place that you can come back to at any point in time throughout class if you need to catch up with your breath. Your breath is a barometer, right? So use that to see if you need to intensify or if you need to modify. From this child's pose, inhale, lift the right arm up to the ceiling, sweep it up, look up toward it, toward the ceiling, and then go ahead and thread underneath the left armpit, taking the right cheek to the mat. If this is enough for you, go ahead and stay here. If you'd like to intensify, you can take the left hand and press the right hand into the ground. You can even lift the hips to pour more weight into that shoulder. So you're getting right into the deltoid, the outer right shoulder joint right here, yeah? And you go ahead and breathe, falling into the sensations that the body is now undergoing, right? Yumi, look, I have my massage mug today. From this right, thread the needle to come out. You inhale, bring the right arm back out, long to meet the left. Surrender the forehead to the mat for an exhale. On your next inhale, sweep the left arm up, look up with it, and then exhale, bring it underneath the right armpit, taking the left cheek to the mat. Once again, taking the right hand to push the left hand into the mat if you want to intensify, or lifting the hips. Breathing very deeply here. On your next inhale, take the left hand out long with the right at the top of the mat. On an inhale, pull yourself back forward, bring the knees back underneath the hips, tuck the toes, lift the hips, come back in a downward dog. On an inhale, look between your hands, exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for a halfway lift, and then exhale to release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, sit the hips right back to chair, hands come to heart center. Breathe deeply into the quads. Maybe sink the hips a little bit lower. Stay light in the toes. Engage through the core to protect the low back. Soften the shoulders. One more inhale through the crown of the head. Get tall a little bit. And then go ahead and exhale. Forward fold. Extend the legs. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands. Step it back to upper push-up position. Hold for a full inhale through the core. And then exhale, bend the elbows in toward the side bodies, lower all the way down in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. You inhale up for that little baby cobra or your striking cobra with arms off the mat. Bring the hands back in if they are off the mat. Tuck the toes. Push up through plank or through hands and knees, and send the hips back for down dog. So that's sun A formation. We'll do one more of these. On an inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump. Feet to hands. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Nice flat back. Exhale to release. Check in with your knees. Make sure there's a little micro bend behind those knees. And then root, inhale to rise. Maybe look up with your hands, little mini back bend. Swan dive on forward, over those legs again, coming back into your forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Hold for one deep inhale, and then on the exhale, bend the elbows in toward the side bodies, lower down to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. You inhale up for that little baby cobra. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes, send the hips right on back for down dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg to hip height. Make sure you have that nice flexion in the ankle. Look in between the hands, and then exhale, bring the foot right in between the hands. Stay on the ball of the back foot. When your feet are nice and set in two different lanes for that balance, you inhale to rise, and then fall kind of deeply into that front knee. I shouldn't use the word fall, though, because I don't want you to fall. It's not about dumping your weight into that front knee. It's about pouring your weight and having that control, right? Stay lifted through the back, left thigh. The ankle's right over the toe, and you're sending energy out of the back ankle at the same time. Really strong energy. Your hands can be up, framing the head, or they can be down in cactus arms. They can come to your hips. Wherever they are, inhale, look up, reach up, and then bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Step the back foot in halfway up the mat to come into what's called pyramid pose. If you'd like blocks on the outer sides of the front foot, you may do that. Track the right hip back to square the hips. You can bring your hands to your right front ankle to make this more of a balance pose. Breathe deeply. Feel the sensations that are going right up the backs of your legs. This is very intense. Hamstring, back of the leg pose, even into your back too. On an inhale, bring the left foot up to meet the right at the top of the mat. Now you're back in your forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up and then bow forward. Back in your forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Hold for that inhale, and then exhale, bend the elbows in, lowering all the way. Inhale up for that little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push up, send the hips back. You're back in your down dog. Let's do that on the left, shall we? Inhale, lift the left leg to hip height. Look in between the hands. On your exhale, bring that foot right in between the hands. Help it get up there. Set your feet up in those two different lanes, and when you have your base, inhale to rise. Taking your arms down to cactus to relax the shoulders, taking the hands to the hips, or to heart center. You have a couple options. Wherever you are, reach up, look up, bring the hands down to frame the front foot, hike the right foot halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid on the left. You can take your hands to that front left ankle or to the mat to frame the front foot. Track the left hip back, square the hips to the front of the mat. Breathe very deeply here. All right, on your next inhale, bring that right foot up to meet the left. Now you're back in your forward fold to the top of the mat, yeah? Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up, sit the hips right back to chair. Another thing that you can do with your arms here, you can take them out in front of you for a counterbalance. That's my personal favorite. Or if you'd like to get a bind behind you, you can interlace your hands at the small of your back. Just make sure the palms are touching, which means you may have to bend the elbows, which is totally fine. Engage through that core. Stay light through the toes. If you'd like more, you can come up to the tippy toes. Lower a little deeper into your hips, into that invisible chair. If the heels are lifted, lower them. One more deep inhale through the core, and then exhale, forward fold over those legs. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position, and rinse that off. So holding the plank position for one deep inhale. On your exhale, lowering down to the mat in one piece, untucking the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for that little baby cobra. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes, send the hips back, coming back into down dog. Hi, Steph. All right, back in your down dog. All right, on an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height, bend the knee, open the hip, stay flexed through that right ankle. Look in between the hands on an inhale. On the exhale, straighten the leg and sweep it right on through in one foul movement. Yep, one sweep. So you're back in this crescent lunge, the slow lunge, lower the back knee down, untuck the toe, and then inhale to rise. Take the left arm forward, the right arm back for a twist. Inhale, sweep both arms up to frame the head, bring them down to frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, rise on an inhale, swivel the back foot down, and open up for warrior two. Flip the front palm, inhale, bring it back. Exhale, come on forward, come back into side angle. So your elbow comes to the top of the right thigh, the left arm comes up. Nice energy through all 5 fingers. You can bring the arm out over the left ear, or you can take the top of the left hand to the low back. You just want to stack your shoulders, open the heart, get broad across the chest. Maybe look up. That's definitely an intensification. If that's not comfortable for your neck, don't do it. Look down at your front leg. And on an inhale, use the core to rise back up for that warrior two. Flip the front palm, inhale, bring it back. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Come up to the ball of the back foot. Once again, hike the left foot halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid again. Maybe grabbing the front ankle if you didn't the first time to make it a little bit more intense. This definitely makes it a balance pose. All right, if you're holding your front right ankle, place the fingertips in front of the foot. On an inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. Standing split. So you're coming right into a standing split here. So your left foot is flexed. Really internally rotating that back leg, pointing the knee and the toes toward the ground. All right, ready? We're going to rise here. So keeping that leg lifted on an inhale, push up, rise up, bring that knee right on through. Right into some balance, right? Go ahead and bend the left ankle over the right knee, coming into standing pigeon. Begin to lower, bend into the right standing leg, coming into a nice balance here, yeah? You can take your hands to your knee and your foot, or they can be at your hips, or they can be at heart center, okay? Breathe deeply here. Stay flexed through that left ankle. All right, straighten the right leg on an inhale. Bring the left leg back up, uncrossing it, and then lower it down to meet the right. Shake out your feet. Nice, that was different, right? So now you're standing, okay? Inhale those arms up to frame the head. Bring the hands through heart center. Forward fold over your legs. Inhale up for a halfway lift. And then exhale to release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Flow through this vinyasa. So holding the plank for one full inhale. Bend the elbows on the exhale in toward the side bodies, lowering down. Untucking the toes when you arrive. You inhale up for that little baby cobra. And then exhale, release. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, send it on back. All right, let's see if I can remember that on the other side. On an inhale, raise the left leg to hip height. Bend the knee, open at the hips, look in between the hands, and on your exhale, straighten the leg and sweep it right on through. Stay up on the ball of the back foot. Now we're going to lower the back knee down, right? And then untuck the toes. Inhale up. Right arm forward, left arm back for that twist. Beautiful. Really feel this in the front right hip. Inhale, both arms up to frame the head. Bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes. Come up off of the back knee. And then inhale to rise again for that crescent. Swivel the back knee down, open up for that warrior two on the left. Flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. And then exhale, come on down into side angle on the left. Bring the right arm up into the sky. Maybe the top of the right hand comes to the small of the back. Stacking the shoulders, broadening across the heart space. Maybe looking up or taking that right arm over the right ear toward the front of the mat. Okay? Look down at the front left knee, and on an inhale, come back up into warrior two. Real strong core there. Inhale, flip the front palm, bring it back. And then cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Now you're going to hike, so you come up to the toes of the back right foot, right? Then you're going to hike that right foot halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid. Okay? Grabbing that ankle if you want to make it more of a balance pose, a little bit more intense. All right. Release that front right ankle or the space. Bring the hands, fingertips a couple inches in front of that foot. And then go ahead and lift up off the back right foot, coming into your standing split on the left. All right, ready? Let's rise again. Inhale, sweep that leg through, stand and rise. Woo. Keep it lifted, nice flexion. And then go ahead and cross that right ankle over the left knee, lowering down, bending through the left standing leg, coming down to this balance pose on the left. Your standing pigeon. Breathing very deeply. The more you press the right hand into the right knee, the more you'll feel this in your hip. For me, it's all about my standing leg though, right? A lot of sensation in that left hip. All right, inhale to rise, straighten the left leg, keep the right knee lifted, and then you can exhale, lower it down to meet the left. Shake it out. Good job. Good job, good job. All right. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale up for that halfway lift. And then exhale. Go ahead, plant the hands, step it on back. If you would like to skip the flow, you can go right back to down dog. If you want a little bit more intensification for those planks, try hovering one foot as you lower down. That definitely intensifies it a lot. Or you can do push-ups, whatever you need right now to keep that heat going. Or if you've had enough of the flow and you just want to go right back to down dog, that's totally great. I do it all the time. Awesome. All right, so you're back in your down dog. We're all in down dog together. On inhale, raise the right leg to hip height. Bend at the knee, open the hips. On inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, sweep it right on through. Stay up on the ball of the back left foot, and then inhale to rise. Woo. If this is too much, you can always lower the back knee down. That is always an option. And for me, it actually makes it more intense on the front hip flexor that you're stretching when you're in this lunge. But that's just me personally. So up in this crescent, swivel the back heel down, open on up to warrior two. Really press into the outer edge of the back foot. Get a little bit deeper into that front knee. You want that nice 90-degree angle. Flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. Straighten the front leg. Inhale to come back. Push the back left hip out. Reach, reach, reach with the right hand, and then hinge over the right leg. Left arm comes up. If you would like more of an ab workout here, you can take the left arm out over the ear and then bring the right hand up to meet it like you're holding a beach ball. Really intense. Make sure that there's a nice micro bend in that front straight leg, right? You don't want to lock it out. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Release that beach ball if you're holding it. Right hand to the top of the shin or a block, wherever it is. You're going to reach down, touch the ground with your left hand, and bring the right hand to the inner arch of the right foot. Turn the right toes toward the side of your mat. So now both of your toes are pointing in the same direction. And then walk your hands to the middle. So now you're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Yeah? And go ahead and lower down. You can walk your hands forward, or you can walk your hands back. Your hands can come to your ankles. Make sure there's a nice little micro bend in both of your legs. Really breathe nice and deeply here. I love this stretch. All right, walk your hands back in. And now we're going to twist to the other side. So what that means is that you're going to be turning your toes, your back left toes, toward the back of your mat. And then you can walk your hands around to frame that front foot. And then you can rise up. Now you're in Warrior Two, facing the back of your mat. So from here, flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. Straighten the left leg. Inhale to come back. Push the back right hip out. Reach, reach, reach. And then go ahead. Come into this triangle on the left. From this triangle, if you're taking that nice ab intensification, you absolutely can do that. Of course, it's always an option to fire up a little bit more. You can release that beach ball if you're holding it. Look down at your front leg, re-bend into that front knee. Come back up to Warrior Two. Flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. Cartwheel the hands down to frame. I'll come forward this way. So you're going to frame the front left foot now. Come up to the toes of the back right foot. Inhale to rise once, little mini back bend, look up, woo. And then go ahead and cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot and step the right foot all the way up to meet the left. So you're back in that forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale up for that halfway lift and then exhale to release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, grab that left wrist with the right hand, exhale over to the right, inhale back up, switch the grip, exhale over to the left. Inhale back up, maybe a little mini back bend, and then you forward fold over those legs. Heel toe the feet out past hip distance. Grab opposite elbows and sway and ragdoll. This motion can be as big or as little as you'd like it to be. Maybe it's very minute. This is a very lovely release for the low back. All right, let's come into our hips a little bit more here. So release the hands to the mat. Point your toes out toward the outer edges of your mat so they're kind of, they're not parallel, they're facing out, yeah? And then you're going to bend the knees very, very, very deeply, lowering down into Malasana. So you're taking your elbows to the inner edges of the knees. I had to think about that. And when you do that, you're drawing the knees in towards the midline and pushing out, creating that resistance, which makes you really tall. Nice and tall. No rounding through the shoulders here, right? Staying nice and tall. Release the fingertips. Plant the left ones. Reach up and away with the right. Bring the right down. Plant those fingertips. Reach up and away with the left. Nice little twists here. Bring the left fingertips back down. Both fingertips are planted in front of you. Inhale to lift the hips. Exhale, re-bend, lowering down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Heel toe the feet in, back under your hip points. Inhale up for that halfway lift. And then exhale to release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. You can rinse this off or just go right back to down dog. Whatever you are needing right now. Are you still here with me in this moment? Has your mind wandered? Bring it back to breath, bodily sensations. All right, so we're back in this down dog. Beautiful. Nod the head yes, shake it no. On an inhale, come up to both tippy toes, lower the heels over to the right, and then lift up with the left arm coming into a little bit of a side angle. Lower the left hand back down, inhale the heels up through center, and then lower them down to the left, maybe lifting up with the right arm, maybe not, and then lowering the right hand down, coming back up through center, lower the heels to the earth. On an inhale, look between your hands, exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, sit the hips right back to chair. Staying nice and light through the toes. Lowering a little bit more into that seat. Hands can be in that counterbalance. They can be in that bind. Really engaging the core to protect the low back, yeah? Hands can be at heart center too. Keep breathing. We're going to hold this. If you want to come up to the tippy toes, you absolutely can. Keep breathing. Slowly lower the heels if they're lifted. One more deep inhale. Come on, keep it going. And a full exhale. I lied. One more deep inhale. And on your exhale, straighten the legs. Unfold. Actually, you're folding. You're not unfolding. You're refolding. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Plant the hands and then send the hips right back to down dog. Okay? So we're back in that down dog. On an inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump. Feet to hands. Bend the hips. Lower the hips all the way down. And just come right back and roll right on up into bloat. Sounded like I said bloat, but I said boat. So, in this boat pose, your legs are lifted. You can hold under your knees. Your hands can even be tented behind you, or they can be up parallel. The more you lift your arms away from your legs, the harder this pose becomes. Embrace the Chihuahua shake. Breathe deep. In order to isolate your core muscles here, instead of using your hip flexors, because they're stronger than your abs usually, open the feet. If you've never done that before, I invite you to practice that motion of opening the feet and closing the feet. Breathe. I'm shaking. It happens to everybody. All right, on an exhale, lower down to a hover. And then inhale back up. Lower everything down. Plant the feet. Bring the hands behind you. Fingertips pointing toward the glutes. Inhale, lift up. Relax the neck back for a reverse tabletop. And then slowly let the hips come back down to the mat. We're going to come back into that boat pose. So you lean back on your sit bones. You lift one foot and then the other. Open those feet if you want to isolate the core more. Hands can come up to frame the head. Whew, that's tough. Inhale the arms up to frame the head. Exhale down to the right. Inhale up. Exhale down to the left. Inhale up. Down to the right. Inhale up. Down to the left. Inhale up. Get a little taller all together. And then lower the feet and hands. Hands come behind. Fingertips toward the glutes. Inhale. Lift up. Relax the neck back. Bend to the hips. Lower down to the mat. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Let the knees open like a book or a butterfly. And get a little bit of bouncing movement in there. If you want to really fire up the hips a little bit. Grab the toes with your hands. Inhale, get really tall. And then exhale, bend the elbows and pull yourself forward. Maintain a flat back. Do not round through the shoulders here. Stay nice and tall. Collarbones are spread. Heart space is open here. You can feel this in your hips. I'm also feeling it a lot in my shoulders because I'm pulling with my arms, yeah? Slowly release the feet and rise back up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Take your left leg out long on the mat with nice flexion in that left ankle. Bring the sole of the right foot into the left inner thigh. Turn your shoulders toward the left foot. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, bow forward. If you want to make this more of a side body stretch, you can take your right hand to the top of the shin, knee, or toes, and then look out underneath the right armpit. Wherever you are, slowly release, square the shoulders back over this left extended leg, and then inhale to rise back up. Switch the legs, extend the right, bend the left knee, bring the left sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. Turn your shoulders toward the right extended leg. Inhale, lift up through the arms. Exhale, bow forward. If you want to get more into that side body, you bring the left hand to the top of the right leg or toes, and then pull and look under. Breathe deeply wherever you are. Re-square the shoulders if they are not squared to the mat and to your right extended leg, and then inhale, rise back up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Extend the left leg out long to meet the right. We'll do a seated forward fold here. Inhale, lift those arms up, and then exhale, bow forward. Breathing deeply in through the nose, now through the nose. Falling into this moment. Allowing your mind to be here now with the bodily sensations that are coming up. On an inhale, slowly rise back up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. We're going to come down to lay down now. So ankles are still nice and flexed. Legs are extended. Inhale the arms up parallel over the legs. Tuck the tailbone, scoop out the core, and slowly lower down. Really take as long as you need. One final little bit of core exercise here, right? Keep lowering. Keep lowering. Once your shoulders reach the mat, you can inhale the arms up, overhead, point the toes, full body stretch, and then lower the arms down along your sides. On an inhale, bring both knees back into your chest. Give them a hug, maybe even bring the forehead up to meet the knees, becoming a little ball. And then you can roll around, release the forehead from the knees, relax the shoulders into the mat. So we're going to come back into that lovely energy boost that we were talking about at the beginning of class, right? So knees are into the chest, and you can go ahead and lift and extend. So both feet are pointed up toward the sky. If at this time you would like to grab a prop, a block, a pillow, anything to place underneath the small of your back, just to get a little bit of a lift, you can even place your hands underneath the small of your back. Get a little hand massage out of it too. Just provides a little lift. So we're going to breathe here. And once again, this is a wonderful energy boost. You can do this with your feet up against a wall as well. And that's a really nice way to kind of have a support so you're not actively engaging and really letting all of that energy, that chi, just come right back to your solar plexus, to the adrenal glands, to the core, where it can then be extended and expended back out into the appendages through whatever you're doing throughout your day. It's a great way to get an energy boost. You just did all that work with standing legs, balancing. Allow all that energy to come back to you to get you through the rest of your day. If you're up on a prop, I would invite you to bend your knees, plant your feet, and then lift the hips up to get the prop out. Otherwise, just rebend those knees into the chest. One final hug around the knees. You can go ahead and reach down in between your legs, grab the outer edges of your feet, and open up for a nice happy baby. You can roll from side to side, continuing to massage the sacrum. If you need anything else at this time to complete your practice, go right ahead. It's time to wind down. So you can release your feet. Go ahead and extend the legs long on the mat. The feet naturally splay open. The arms are down along your sides, or you can place one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart. Your eyes can close at this time or remain gently open. Check in with the jaw, bring the tip of the tongue away from the roof of the mouth, and on your next exhale, relax the space between your eyes. How far into this moment can you fall? Breathe, relax, enjoy. This is Shavasana. It's a period of silence for you to just allow your body to take in all of the work that you just did. I will bring you out of it with my voice when we are done. Enjoy this last couple moments. This practice of being able to surrender to the moment, to be able to connect the mind, the heart, and the body is really a very alchemic, beautiful intertwining of sensations and thoughts. We are the physical body, yes, but we are also the observer. And where those two meet is where we get our sense of self. It's a very sacred connection. To go through this practice is to strengthen that connection, to know thyself, to be able to sit with your thoughts and your bodily sensations, to feel your emotions in your body. It's a very, very powerful practice. It is not something that comes easily. That's why it's called a practice. But choosing to be mindful and noticing where you're feeling things within your body is a skill not only for the yoga mat, but it is a skill that you can take out into your daily lives. Especially right now, there are so many feelings, so many emotions. Take the time to sit with them and get to know them. All we have is time right now. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. If your eyes are closed, you may let them flutter open. You can roll over to your right side or remain laying down, whatever you need right now. If you've come up to seated, your hands can come to heart center, pressing the thumbs into the heart space. Bow your head to your heart, lift your heart to your head, bringing the two closer together. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It means so much to see your names pop up. I'm so grateful to be a part of this community, to be bringing this to all of you in the comfort of your own homes. The light and the truth in me sees that and honors it in each of you. Together we say, Namaste.